year, the Arkansas Arts Council recognizes an Arkansas traditional craft artist for his or her career, preservation of the craft, and efforts in educating others. A panel of practicing craft artists selects the recipient. Jim Larkin has been making pottery since 1969. He and his wife Barbara own Fox Pass Pottery in Hot Springs, Arkansas. He has been teaching pottery classes and workshops in Arkansas for 40 years.
And I'd always been a maker. Grew up, my dad was a carpenter, cabinet builder, and contractor. Uncles were welders. And a little town like Lonoke, you knew everybody, and I just loved making. You know, people say that what's your most influential book? I know you're supposed to say the Bible, but mine was W. Ben Hunt's Big Book of Indian Crafts. Well, the Bible worked in there too. We won't leave that out, but just making was what I loved as a kid. Going to Bible school, you know, once the crafts were over, I was ready to go catch snakes or something. But anyhow, in college, I was a science major and loved it. Still love science, but I was over at Henderson on campus, and they had an art show and saw some students working on the wheel, and man, I want to do that. I didn't have time to take a pottery class, but certainly didn't forget it. I was teaching school at the time, but started spending every spare minute, and then it became minutes that weren't spare, trying to learn about clay. Just started reading everything I could find, talking to every potter who would hold still long enough. And Barbara was painting, but she started getting interested in clay too, and we just got into it more and more, and finally just loved it so much and thought, you know, and we were young and foolish, I guess. And it was the, you know, early 70s and through the 60s, and the whole back to the land thing. What if we can make a living doing this? What I like about clay is the immediacy of it and the history that it leaves with the marks that you make in it, both intentional and unintentional. And in that the kiln itself carries that process on after it's out of your hands, and you put it in the kiln, particularly the wood-fired kiln, salt kiln. There are marks and history there that somebody who's familiar with the process can read. They can look at that pot and read the story of your making and the marks in the kiln too. One of the wonderful things and terrible things about clay are the possibilities. It's amorphous, and whereas wood or stone or metal fights back, clay will take any shape that you can put it in. So there are just infinite possibilities. Almost every night when I've been making pots, I'll come out and check and make sure things are covered and uncovered. And one of the last things I do is I pick up a pot and smell it inside. And I love that earthy smell that you get from the clay. I know potters who will pick up a piece of clay and put it in their mouth. Old-time potters in particular. You talk to they'll look at some of the old-timers over in the hills of North Carolina, and they can tell you a whole lot about clay up in their mouth and that feel of it. And it's the grit and the taste and so on, and they can tell you. So it's a very sensual material, sensual in the sense that your senses, taste, smell, touch, vision, even when you're firing, those things all come into play too. The way the kiln sounds, the way the smell of the atmosphere, you know, watching the flame. So it's use all of your senses. Why make pots in the 20th century? And it's a very fair question. Certainly machines can do it quicker and more economically. But the more and more technology we have, the more people seem to be craving something touched by human hands.